Welcome back to the CNET stage here at CES. I'm Paul Sloan, Executive Editor, and I'm excited to be joined by two people at the cutting edge of media, video, music, and its rapid transformation as we all watch and listen anywhere and anytime. First, Russell Simmons, often called a hip-hop mogul and business magnate who got his start when he teamed up with producer Rick Rubin to create Def Jam Records in the 80s, bringing us everyone from the Beastie Boys to LL Cool J and Public Enemy. He's done much more, of course. He's created fashion lines, TV programs, movies, even financial service products, to name a few. And now he's running ADD, All Def Digital, which is an original content YouTube channel aimed at what he calls a post-racial America. Next to him is Brian Robbins, a film and TV director and producer who runs Awesomeness TV, which is one of the first original channels launched on YouTube. The two are now partnering on All Def Digital. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Russell, I understand it's your first time here at CES. I know you haven't had time to walk around, but impressions, why are you here? Tell us what you're here for.
Well, I'm here primarily, my YouTube channel is about the same pursuit I've had from the beginning, like discovering talent and crossing it through different media, and this is the place to be. So I'm here because I basically have to. It's what I've done my whole life, and I'm a little late, I think, being here, but it's funny that I'm late, but the industry itself seems to have this huge white space where there's all this integration that happened through hip-hop and in media has not happened really, online as much as it could. So if you take, for instance, there's not been one black comedian since Def Comedy Jam who's emerged as crossed over. I would say Kevin Hart, but he hasn't yet either. So Hollywood and media in general has not, like advertising, like music, like other industries, have embraced a new America. And so for me, I wanted to buy a TV network, but they wanted to offer me very minimal subs and start crawling. And I thought I didn't really want a young person telling me what content to release or what to expound on. And so this, for me, is my network. This ADD, All Def Digital, All Def Music, All Def Poetry, All Def Comedy, All Def, this whole space in America is underexposed. And so for me, building this network, and with YouTube's help, and Brian, who I've known for 20 years. Does that date you?
Yes.
Well, that's all right. But so doing this, for me, is the next most obvious thing to do. So.
ADD, by the way, I think one of the great names just for this ADD generation.
Yeah. Online for this moment, you look at things, and if it doesn't happen this second, you press the button. But you watch a TV show for 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes, you say, I hate this sucks, and you sit there for 15 more minutes to be sure that you hate it. But I think people are learning to broaden the appreciation, and more content is being viewed for longer periods of time.
So what will we expect to see and when? You said it's focused on the cool side of pop culture, BET for YouTube. What's it all mean?
I don't like the BET thing. Every time they say black, they say, or diversity, they say some more black stuff. It needs to be more black stuff, but this integration that Hollywood, they're all liberal and nice people, but they don't really understand that there's America, if you watch Jerry Springer and the rest of the world in the suburbs of Cleveland, is integrating. And if it's not a post-racial America, there's a potential. And that's what people want to see. Hollywood should be in the front. And since Hollywood is not, the internet is. I signed yesterday, for instance, Spoken Reasons. Like he could be the next Chris Tucker, right? He's online. He's like the #1 online video blogger in the urban space, but they don't see him. And so I'm here to kind of like integrate and move forward culture.
But for all these new channels and new opportunities, isn't it these industries are still driven by hits? Are you not worried?
I like hits. What does that mean, Brian?
Yeah.
What's the opportunity for a YouTube channel?
It's a giant opportunity.
So tell us from your experience.
Never before, 25 years ago, no one knew what ESPN and MTV and Nickelodeon, CNN, no one knew what's cable. And you had to go, operator by operator through the country to get clearance. Today on YouTube, there's 850 million unique people on the platform. 850 million you're able to reach from day one.
Let some older or younger person who knows nothing about what you're doing tell you what to do, and it's exciting.
And
I'm sorry, I won't cut you off, huh?
How do they find you? How does it grow?
That's what I do. I make people, take something that's emerging and spread it across all forms of media and through this genre. Through this distribution.
The world's changed a lot, right? So when I launched Smallville, for instance, on the WB, we had a huge outdoor campaign and commercials everywhere and stuff like that. Today, on Awesomeness TV, my audience is all teens and tweens, and I know how to reach them. I don't need a bus and a billboard. I can tweet to them. I can Instagram to them. They're on Facebook. I don't need a $20 million marketing campaign to launch a video television show anymore. And it's proven. Like, we're up, 6 months with 60 million views, 300,000 subscribers from 0 6 months
This
ago.
is Awesomeness TV
This
you're
is
talking
Awesomeness
about.
TV. The same thing will happen with ADD. I mean, Russell has 2 million something Twitter followers.
Right.
These artists on YouTube that you don't know. He said Spoken Reasons. You probably have no idea who Spoken Reasons is, right? He's a comedian on YouTube who has 1 million subscribers, a couple 100 million views, but he's undiscovered. Well, we're going to rediscover him and let the world know who he is.
So is this how new genres are going to happen? I mean, when Def Jam came around, when you
New
guys
genres,
started?
yeah. I mean, this is the opportunity to let the people speak, and also to, if you're paying attention, and nurture talent, which is my whole life's work, to nurture talent, and that emerges on its own. The record business long ago stopped developing artists. They sat there and waited for artists to develop themselves, and they'd fight over them when they got hot. And it's about curating, because you find out when to chase them. Or if you don't have it in your heart, you can just look at numbers. And so that's the reality that entertainment is. It's becoming more user-friendly, and user-generated stuff is becoming the key. I mean, we don't have a Justin Bieber. We don't have, Diggy, my nephew. He didn't call me, say, Russ, how do I get a record deal? I saw his video that he made for a nickel on TV, and he was a star. I called my brother, like, hey, Rev, your son is on TV. He's like, yeah, I heard. Like, so, that's real talk. I mean, people are doing, on their own. And I think they need a help, obviously, and navigation through the whole media world. And they need to take what they're doing online and spread it. And they need to broaden what they're doing online as well.
Yeah. So what's your view of the music industry now?
We're going to start a music company as well. All Deaf Music will be music from people. We're going to curate and build out a multi-channel network. And we're going to help people, build their own, and that's going to be part of our process. So the music thing, we just partnered with, we haven't announced yet, but we just announced today our partnership, right. So only one announcement a day, right? But I think it's important that people nurture them too. I think the record companies, they don't realize it's a 360 business. I'm an entrepreneur. I used to look at the contracts the artists would bring me, even though I left the record business. So they want to own a piece of your sneaker. Well, they don't make sneakers. They want to own a piece of your film work, but they don't know how to produce a film. They want to do TV with you, but they don't really know anything about television. They're kind of a stagnant business that's not entrepreneurial. There's people who work in the record. They still call it the record business. I mean, they're a little. So I think that there's to exploit people's position in the music business, or a brand in the music business, or broaden their brand and use it for what it's all that the people want to be, is a business, but it's not really being monetized in the ways that, and I'm sure there are ways to monetize music that are coming, and there's always new ones, but until they figure out how to monetize music, they're not a 360 business.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you fans of Spotify, Pandora? These services seem great for consumers, but musicians?
I think that, the musicians themselves can find ways to monetize, and they direct more, and the brick and mortar system that the music business has at this moment is not benefiting, but as music gets exposed, more artists should get, greater benefit, and they will.
And so what's it all look like a couple years from now?
I can't, that's a question. I'm not sitting there trying to analyze it every day, and I don't see every innovation that comes in that pushes aside. I remember bringing them Napster and saying, why don't you talk to these guys? They're like, we won't talk to them. I said, okay. And by that time, I was almost done. So, I saw it. I remember they're kind of stagnant, but they learned a little bit, I guess, after iTunes and all these things kicked their ass. They learned. Yeah.
They were forced. Desperation. Look, you've done so many different kinds of businesses. Is there a thread that ties them together?
Well, my partner, Brian, what he built with Awesomeness is not to be, it's unbelievable. And I think that what's going to happen online is going to really have synergistic value for anything that I do. And it already does. I have an internet company. I do have a content company, which I built up over the last few years called Global Grind. And I see this thread, this Next America, in that company is proof of concept, that there is this integration and there's this core community that needs to be spoken to, but not segregated. So I'm already doing that, and I think that's what I'm looking to do now with ADD.
Okay. There's so much more, but unfortunately we are out of time.
He didn't say nothing.
You're not allowed. He was welcome to jump in.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
He's
all right.
good.
I'm excited.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russell
Thanks.
Simmons and Brian Robbins. Thanks so much for being here. We'll take a quick break. And CNET's UK's Jason Jenkins will be here with the panel he calls The British Are Coming. Stay tuned.